Another conceptual thing that's mentioned on the exam guide is KCS. That is an acronym you may not be familiar with. That stands for Knowledge Centered Support or Knowledge Centered Service. And that was developed by the Consortium for Service Innovation. And I'm going to link to this, but the main website is serviceinnovation.org. And it's good for you to know some of the core tenets of KCS because you may have to know some of this on the exam. This is another example of something conceptual that isn't specifically reflected in the Service Cloud, but you'll find on the exam. This KCS initiative has been adopted by many different companies such as Salesforce, and it's a standard that many call centers have to be certified as adhering to. And so it's good that you become familiar with this information. The main thing as it relates to Salesforce is it's a knowledge-centered support. KCS, knowledge-centered support. And so you want to make sure that your agents are adopting this process and that they're capturing information. There's this double loop process here as well. And then you structure the content, you reuse it, and you improve it. As you evolve, you can assess how agents are performing. You can iterate and just continually be improving this information as it becomes used. Like I mentioned, be sure and check out this link in the resources section. And what I want to do though is I want to show you, since we're talking about knowledge-centered service, I want to show you some things in Salesforce to relate this to what we're studying. Now, I'm on the service setup home. Now, how I get to this is through this gear icon. Let me go back to the service console in Lightning, or the Lightning service console. And when you click on this gear, it gives you two setup options. There's service setup and then setup. So clicking the service setup takes you to a new tab specifically related to setting up your service cloud. Now there's links here for email setup, knowledge setup, Lightning communities, and then there's some today's performance, some analytics around cases created and closed, and then as well lifetime performance. Here's the total number of cases. These are the ones that came out of the box with my own free developer account. I've not created any cases yet. And then also, if you notice, you can hover over here and see this analytics widget here is dynamic in nature. So we will be getting into knowledge. There's a whole section related to knowledge setup, and we'll be getting into this more later on in this course. And so knowledge center support, the Salesforce's response to being able to adhere to that is the Lightning Knowledge Setup. And so check out the core tenets, be familiar with them, and we'll be covering the core tenets of KCS as we set up knowledge later on in this course. But it is one of the industry knowledge specific bulleted items in the exam guide, so I wanted to draw your attention to that. And next, we're going to be talking about contact center components and how they solve business challenges.